Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
We are not in the clear just yet as scattered storms and rain continue to pop up on Storm Tracker 4. And we start things off here at 6 with our weather.
Yeah, storms have been isolated, but in some areas they have packed some downpours and some high winds too. So let's start things off here at 6 with Paul.
Yeah, thanks a bunch, Devin. Yeah, gusty winds in terms of 40 to 50 mile per hour gusts. We've even had some reports of hail in the area as well. But right now, a lot of the stuff has settled down or moved out. We have one most notable cluster of stuff back to the west. But notice very little lightning. There's one lightning strike right there. But this is all moving to the southeast and is really not going to affect really very many of you in Lenawee County. So otherwise, back to the north here, this little cell here coming out of the Birmingham area is coming actually right down Woodward. So Ferndale, Pleasant Ridge, you're going to get it next. Nothing violent here. There's not even any lightning. And then farther to the north, scattered showers here, Sanilac County, northern St. Clair County. So temps right now are basically in the low 70s. So a lot of us are dry. So that means a lot of us are going to get to enjoy the early part of this evening with temps in the low to mid 70s, dropping into the 60s by midnight. Don't forget the Local Forecasters app has real-time radar on a day like this. Very, very important. You can pan and zoom with your fingers and see anywhere you want, even in Europe. I was watching it during Wimbledon, during the tournament. Anyhow, go to the App Store, search under WDIV. I'm serious, it works in Europe, too. Go to the App Store, search under WDIV, and it's free, guys.
Okay, Paul, thank you. For the first time tonight, we're hearing from the family of a pregnant woman hit and killed by a vehicle driven by one of her best friends.
Tiara Jones was trying to defuse a tense situation outside a Southfield apartment when she was killed. The baby survived. Sean Lay live with an update on how the family is now coping and caring for the child. Sean.
The baby born under great stress. His name, Davon. Family tells us he's still in the hospital because of the stress and because he was born 2 months premature, but he is doing just fine. But in the meantime, his family not doing fine with this whole tragedy.
She was so happy, literally. Like, this was her first child. My sister was really, really happy. Like, and you took that. Now my nephew in the hospital without a mom.
Her name is Tia Peck, and in an instant, her dear older sister Tiara was ripped from her, and at the same time, Tia is now taking over the role as mother to Tiara's newborn baby boy. It was Tiara who was 7 months pregnant, so excited for her first baby.
We was planning the baby shower. This was her first child, and she was just so happy.
June 25th, Peck says her sister, 27-year-old Tiara Jones, was trying to de-escalate an argument between one of her best friends and his girlfriend. Things got heated. Southfield police say this man, Davon Logan, stepped in with a gun to get away. Police say that friend drove off and ran over Tiara, crushing her. Doctors saved Tiara's baby. Tiara could not be saved. That driver was not charged. The Oakland County Prosecutor's Office saying there were no findings of intent. Tiara's sister says that decision is confusing and hurts her deeply.
This is the worst. Like, I never ever thought in a million years I'd lose my big sister. Like, that hurt more than anything. Now her son is in the hospital without a mom. Like, that's horrible. Now he got to grow up without a mama. That hurt.
Incredibly sad situation here. We did check with Southfield Police again today. They said the prosecutor had the final word on the driver of that car, declining to press charges there. In the meantime, charges have been issued against the man with the gun, Davon Logan. He's charged with 2 counts of felony firearm, 1 count of assault to do great bodily harm, and 1 count of felonious assault. Tiara's sister you saw right there, clearly heartbroken. She says she'll continue to ask questions, however, about this case. We're live tonight. Sean Lay, Local 4, back to you.
So tough. All right, Sean.
The new inflation numbers released today stunned many. We're up 9.1% in June, which is a 40-year high. In our exclusive Local 4 Detroit News poll, people place the blame on many factors. 31% said it's multiple reasons, but nearly 26.5% said they believe it's because of government spending. That came in ahead of Russia's war in Ukraine, supply chain issues, and too much demand for products after the pandemic. Regardless of the reason, the high cost of items is now changing the way many people shop. Consumer investigator Hank Winchester is live in Livonia. Hank, people are making big changes.
And Kimberly, they really have to. I mean, at the end of the day, for a lot of people, just factoring in the additional price for gasoline was a new budget item for many people. So we were talking with shoppers today here in Livonia. What changes are they making right now in order to deal with this new reality? Walk through almost any store and you'll get hit with it. Sticker shock. We're paying so much more for almost everything. In today's inflation report, well, the numbers don't lie. We're paying a lot more, and it's affecting what people are buying now. The price of everything has just gone up so much. Is there anything that you're not buying right now or cutting back on?
Yeah, cutting back on a lot of seafood and a lot of junk food, actually.
This couple making some major changes in the food they buy. Things that last year were considered staples. Are there things that you're not buying now that you would before because they're so expensive?
Yes, it's a lot of things. For instance, the lunch meat. It went up a lot, very lot.
Yeah.
$10 down there a pound for lunch meat.
Janice has even had to cut out pop from the budget.
The other day I was going to buy an individual size Faygo pop.
Yeah.
And they wanted like about $1.50 for it. I put it back real quickly.
She now looks for deals in the paper and online. It's changed what she buys and also when she buys it.
I don't know how to shop unless I have an ad.
Really?
Yeah.
So do you end up saving a lot?
Well, it's just me, so I really don't buy that much.
Yeah.
But I find out, yes, I do.
You know, and those little things over time can really add up. I mean, for example, I used to buy a lot of the items for my daughter, like the coloring books, the crayons. I would buy those online just because it was easy and quick. But now I make my way to the local dollar store. It is about 75% cheaper than it is buying some of these items online. Again, some people are making big changes, others making some smaller changes that can really add up over time. We're live here tonight in Livonia. Hank Winchester, help me, Hank. Back to you.
I just went through and canceled a bunch of subscriptions that I wasn't using for a while, so like Hulu and some of the other ones.
Yep.
And every little bit, I think, makes a difference, Hank. We appreciate it. We know right now, though, the power of a good deal is even greater. So what are you seeing out there in terms of incentives to get people to spend? Anything?
Well, yeah, right now those deals are really continuing, and that's really because of the deals that were being offered during Amazon Prime Day, the 12th and the 13th of July. These deals, like some here we saw today inside Walmart, they're going to continue through the end of the month. So if you need to make some bigger purchases, TVs, for example, big savings right now.
Yeah, okay. Hank, thanks.
Hulu on line 3 for you. There has been a push to rebuild the city of Pontiac for years. They're making some good economic strides, but there have been 10 homicides in the city in the first half of 2022. And those living there want to see that number obviously go down. A joint effort between Oakland County Sheriff's Department and community leaders has helped solve most of these crimes. But as Megan Woods is live now to tell us, there is a push to stop them before they happen, which of course is the key. Megan.
Yes, Devin, Kimberly, we spoke to a Pontiac organization that says they're tired of the shootings. They're tired of posting balloon releases. They're tired of posting funeral arrangements. And as a community, they're all coming together to figure out what is the problem behind this and what are the solutions to fix it.
It does make us angry. It makes us frustrated, even to hear that Pontiac is even on the map in that case.
Kevin Sanders is with Pontiac Universal Crimes, an organization that brings awareness to local crime as well as solutions.
That heaviness should bring awareness, that people should get so tired of hearing these stories, watching these reports of murders, that it will stir up enough frustration that people get out and say, what can we do to bring a change?
Oakland County Sheriff Michael Bouchard says they've taken a closer look at the homicides in Pontiac.
It's very targeted. It's not the average person in Pontiac that is being targeted just coming and going to work or school or a business. It's very specific, a bad drug deal or somebody that has animosity. So those are harder to get in front of because they're personal.
He says 8 out of 10 of Pontiac's homicides in 2022 were solved and hopes that's a deterrent for the second half of the year.
We're going to catch you if you do it, and we're going to hold you accountable. It doesn't bring our victims back, but it does send a message.
This year, a new task force was created that leaders from Pontiac Universal Crime and the sheriff are part of. Churches and businesses are also involved.
As the numbers are rising, the awareness is rising.
Later this month, on Saturday, July 30th, Pontiac Universal Crimes is hosting a Love and Peace event where there will be speakers, mental health and financial resources, and even some entertainment. We'll have information on that event on clickondetroit.com. Back to you.
Yeah, Megan, you mentioned most of the homicides in Pontiac from this year were solved. What about the two that have not been?
Well, you may remember the case of arson at a home in Pontiac early in January. Well, now deputies are saying they still haven't found the person responsible. So if anyone watching has information, 2 people were killed. So please contact Oakland County Sheriff's Office.
That's the key to clearing these files off the records. Exactly right. All right, Megan.
A Taylor man is convicted of exploiting more than 100 minors for child pornography. Prosecutors say 53-year-old Kenneth Hartley admitted in 2010 he pretended to be a teenage girl on Skype and tricked a boy born in 1995 into providing sexually explicit images of himself. They say Hartley victimized more than 100 minors over the course of a decade. It ended when police executed a search warrant at his home in December of 2020. They found more than 46,000 images of child pornography. Hartley was sentenced to 25 years in prison.
University of Michigan officially selects its new president. The university's Board of Regents unanimously voting today to make Dr. Santa Ono the new president during a special meeting. Ono currently serves as president of the University of British Columbia. From 2012 to 2016, he served as the president of the University of Cincinnati. He becomes the 15th president in U of M history.
This place, Michigan, that I've been able to visit many times, is a very special place. It feels very right to me. It has a unique energy that conveys a sense of purpose to everyone, from a first-year student to the president of the institution.
Dr. Ono starts his new job October 13th, replacing Mary Sue Coleman, who stepped in, of course, when the Board of Regents removed Mark Schlissel in January.